All right, so today we're going to be converting between radical form and rational exponent form. All that means is that we're taking it from this form with our radical to a rational exponent, which means I'm going to have a fraction. Okay, so this here, this just means I have a root, so a number to a certain root, and then I have x to a power of something. Okay, so let's say inside my radical I have x to the power of a. A will just act as a variable, so they can use any number they want to. And I'm going to have b right here in my index. So this part here is called your index. Please don't get index and your scalar mixed up. Of course, scalar is when you have like a coefficient in front. So the index is going to be like a little small number that's right here. And that's going to be the name of the root. Okay, so whatever here, that'll still stay as my base. And in my numerator, I have the a. So whatever is right here will come here, and in my denominator I will have b. Okay, so all we're doing today is pretty much just rewriting this. Okay, so for number one, this is read the fourth root of x cubed. Okay, so if I'm converting it from radical form to rational exponent form, I'm going to keep the x as my base. The 3 will become my numerator of my exponent, and 4 will be the denominator. And that's it. Okay, so as I said, this is here, this is here, and this is here. Okay. All right, so this next one, this is the 7th root of 3x to the 5th. Okay, so my answer, that 3x is going to come out as my base. The 5 is going to be my numerator, and the 7 will be my denominator. Also, since this started off in parentheses, we want to keep that in parentheses. Okay, so my answer is 3x to the 5/7 power. Okay, let me keep the same colors here. So this is my base, this is here, and this is here. Okay, this one here, this will be 2x to the 8th over 3. Okay, so this is read the cube root of 2x to the 8th. That became 2x to the 8/3 power. Okay, now here's where it gets a little tricky, not too tricky, but this is read the square root of x to the 5th. So if you think of square root, keyword in there is square. So if it's no number here in the index, it's understood to be a 2. So you've seen square roots probably since middle school. All this means is that you have a 2 in front. Okay, you don't have to write it, but if you feel better writing it, please do. So all this means is that I'm still going to have that x as my base. 5 will be my numerator, 2 will be my denominator. So the square root of x to the 5th converted will be x to the 5/2 power. Okay, so again, let me color this one so you can make sure that you have it. So that stays there. My 5 is my numerator, and 2 is my denominator. Okay, so here we have the 6th root of x. So this x is no exponent there, so that's understood to be 1, right? So we have x to the 1/6 power. Okay, again, base stayed the same. That's my 1 for the exponent, and here is my 6 as the denominator. So 1 is the numerator, 6 is the denominator. And here we have the square root of x. That's just going to become x to the 1/2. Again, it's an understood 2 here and an understood 1 there, so that just became 1/2. So the whole point of this, You're probably thinking, okay, well, what does this have to do with anything? You just want to be able to convert from form to form, okay? When you get to the test, they may decide to give you square root of x, or they may decide to give you x to the 1/2 power. You need to know that those are the same thing, okay? So this bottom part, we're gonna convert from rational form to radical form. So that means we're gonna go the other way. So let me show you guys the formula again. Okay, so this is x to the 5/4 power. So what's going to happen is the 5 is going to be in my index. So this will be the 5th root of x to the 4th. Okay. So my base came on the inside, and my 4 made it to the 4th power, and the 5 made it to the 5th root. Okay. So here, same thing. This will be the 7th root of 5x, and I'm going to keep the parentheses since it started off in parentheses. So this will be the 7th root of 5x to the 3rd power. Okay. Now here's a little tricky. Keep in mind, this is 2x 9 to the 9/4 power. It's different if they have parentheses around it, which means that 9/4 will apply to the entire 2x. Since it's no parentheses, this 9/4 will just be applied to the x. So this 2 will act as a scalar, and I'm going to have the 4th root of x to the 9th power. And that's my answer. So the 2 became the scalar, and with that x, let's color this. X is still the base. That 9 is our exponent, and 4 is our index. Okay. So same thing here. I'm going to have the 5th root of x to the 1st power. Keep in mind, I don't really have to write the 1st power, but you can if that makes you feel better, okay? Here we have a 2 at the bottom, so this is actually back to square root, okay? So again, you can write the 2 there. You really don't have to, so I'm not going to write it this time. So you have the square root of x to the 7th. Here you have 3x to the 1/2 power. So this is the same thing as saying the square root of 3x. Okay. So that's it for this first page. Let's look at some of the examples. What I'm going to have you do, I'm going to do the odd problems, and I'm going to have you do the even problems, okay? So 2 things I want you to do. We're going to rewrite it, and then we're also going to simplify. So if you look at this, the power to a power rule should come to mind, because all I need to do is take that 1/2 and apply it to both of my exponents by multiplying. So again, if you get confused with fractions, just put that in a calculator. But you have 6 times 1/2, that's going to be m to the 3rd. And you have 8 times 1/2, that's n to the 4th. Okay, so this is my answer. Now let's say they ask you to rewrite this. This is the same thing as having the square root of m to the 6th n to the 8th. So it may be some of you that maybe you feel better working it out this way, and you can say, okay, what's the square root of m to the 6th? That's m to the 3rd. The square root of n to the 8th is n to the 4th. Okay, so it depends on what works for you. Okay, here if I rewrote this, this will be the cube root of x to the 12th power, y to the 6th power, z to the 18th power. Of course, if I do the power rule, I'm just going to apply this 1/3 to each exponent by multiplying. So I have x to the 4th power, because I did 12 times 1/3. I'll have y to the 2nd power, and I'll have z to the 6th power. Okay, so that's my simplified answer. Okay, now this one here, you have this to the 1/2 power, okay? So you want to look at this as the square root of 49 u to the 4th power v to the 6th power. Now, if you're doing a power rule, watch really quick because it's a little tricky. A lot of people want to do 49 times 1/2. You have to take this to the 1/2 power. Okay, so for that one, you might want to use a calculator and put that to the 1/2 power so you can get that coefficient that's going to be in front. Okay, then I do 4 times 1/2. I will get u to the 2nd power, and I do 2 times 1/2. That'll be v to the 3rd power. Okay, so if I actually find 49 to the 1/2 power, that'll become 7. So my final answer is 7u squared v to the 3rd. Okay, and this may be one of those cases where it may be easier for you to rewrite it and do it this way, because 49 is a perfect square. So if I take the square root of 49, that's my 7. If I take the square root of u to the 4th, that's u to the 2nd. And if I take the square root of v to the 6th, that's 3. So whatever way works for you, again, do that. And then my last one, like I said with this one, you can look at this as 2 separate problems. This is factor 1, factor 2. So I'm going to work this part out and act like this other part isn't here. So this is saying 3 to the 2nd power, which is 3 times 3, so I get 9. So make sure you don't make that mistake and put 6 there, okay, because it's 3 times 3, not 3 times 2. Then I have 9 times 2, that's 8. So that's it for my first part. Then this second part, I'm doing 16 times 1/2, which will give me n to the 8th power. From here, I'm just going to multiply. So I have 9. I'm multiplying my coefficient. So 9 times 1 is 9. And then I have 8 plus 8 is 16. So my final answer is 9n to the 16th power. Okay. So I want you to go ahead and do the evens. Then once you're done, you're going to upload all of your notes to Google Classroom so I can check it. All right.